Welcome to Calmness Equals Peace, a sanctuary where stories we brems of wonder and tranquility. Tonight, let us journey into a tale revealed by the Lantern Keeper, a guardian of memories, glowing within the enchanted forest. Find a quiet place to sit or lay down. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and allow the whispers of the lantern to guide you. The Lantern Keeper was a man of quiet steps and quieter talks. His name had long since been forgotten, but the forest knew him as its guardian, a storyteller, his bridge between what was and what could be. He moved with a purpose that seemed ancient, as if he had always been there, walking beneath the boughs of trees that whispered to him in their own secret language. Tonight, the forest hummed with a different energy. A faint glow nestled deep in the shadows caught his attention. One lantern among many, yet this one shimmered with a light unlike the others, soft, swirling, and restless, like a dream that refused to settle. The keeper knelt, brushing his fingers over the lantern's cool surface. The light flickered, responding to his touch. He settled beneath a canopy of stars, placed the lantern before him, and let the story unfold. There was a time long ago when stories had no endings. In that time, a place existed, a garden neither of earth nor the heavens, but somewhere in between. It was called the Celestial Garden, though names mean little to it. It was a dream whisper of in dreams, a sanctuary gleam in moments of deepest longing. It was a place whispered about in lullabies and riddles, but only ever half remembered, like a dream slipping through your finger at dawn. It was a garden of stars, they said, though they could have just as easily said it was made of wishes, or tears, or laughter of the moon. And no one sought the garden unless they had already lost their way. Orion was such a person. Orion had once been a painter of skies. He made constellations then on his canvases and could sketch a comet in a way that made you feel its strength across your soul. But as things sometimes go, the world grew louder and his spark grew dim. The skies above seemed vast, and he felt small beneath them. One night, when the stars were no longer enough, Orion wandered into the forest. He didn't mean to go too far, but when the moonlight faded, he realized the path behind him had vanished, and the path ahead, well, it wasn't really a path at all, but it was something, a shimmer in the air, like the echo of a forgotten tune. It wound between the trees, and though Orion couldn't say why, he followed. The garden was waiting. It didn't announce itself, as you might expect a magical place to do. There was no grand archway or sudden burst of light. It was simply there, unfolding like the first break of dawn. The trees were not trees, and Orion knew that. They glowed sharply, their leaves like shards of broad catching starlight. Flowers bloomed in colors he didn't have names for. The scent was not a scent, but a memory, a favorite one, from a time when kings were simpler. And in the center beyond was a boon, skilled and perfect. It mirrored the sky so completely that for a moment Orion thought he might fall into it and find himself among the stars. As he stood at the edge of the pool, he felt a presence behind him, gentle, like the feeling of being watched by someone who means you know how. "Welcome," said the voice. He turned to see a figure of light and shadow. They were in human shape, but not entirely bound by it, as if the edges hadn't quite agreed on where they should stop. "I'm Astrea," they said, "and you are Orion, the seeker who doesn't yet know what he's seeking." "I think I'm lost," Orion admitted, though he wasn't sure if he meant the forest or something else entirely. "Lost kings often find their way here," Astrea replied. "The garden listens to the quiet places in people's hearts. What does yours say?" Astrea led Orion to a tree at the garden's edge. Its branches were heavy with fruit, each one glowing faintly, like a star plucked from the sky. "Pick one," they said. "Why?" Orion asked. "Because it's what you do when you face something extraordinary." So he did. The fruit was cool in his hand, and as he held it, he felt a warmth spread through him. Memory stirred. Of bent slim fingers, of a canvas half finished, of the way he used to see the world, not as it was, but as it could be. "Hold on to that," Astrea said. "It's not the scars that have grown thin, it's your belief in them. But belief is a stubborn thing. It can find its way back, if you let it." Astrea left him by the pool. Its surface was still, but not silent. It whispered to him not in words, but in images that danced and flickered just beneath the water. He knelt beside it, watching as scenes unfolded. He saw himself as a child, painting stars on the walls of his room. He saw the first time he looked through the telescope and realized the universe was not just vast, but alive. And then he saw the shadows, the doubts that had trapped in, the fears that had silenced his breast. "You're the one who gave them the power," Astrea's voice came, though they were nowhere to be seen. "But you can take it back." When Orion stood again, the pool's whispers had quieted, and Astrea were waiting. They held a lantern in their hands, its light steady and warm. "This is for you," they said. "A piece of the garden to carry with you. It won't give you the answers, but it will remind you to look for them." Orion took the lantern. It wasn't heavy, but it felt like it held something important. Will I ever find this place again? He asked. This garden isn't a place, Astrea said. It's a part of you. It always has been. When Orion stepped back into the forest, the garden faded behind him, though the lantern in his hand glowed brighter with each step. He returned to his studio, to his brushes and canvases, and for the first time in what felt like forever, the stars above didn't seem quite so far away. He painted again, not perfectly, not easily, but with a lightness in his heart that he hadn't felt in years. His words carried the accent of the garden, though no one who saw it could say exactly what it was. They only knew it made him feel possible. And sometimes, on quiet nights, when the sky whispered a secret to the trees, Orion thought he could hear the faintest echo of a voice saying, "Keep looking." And so, the journey never ends. It winds through the gardens of our dreams, beneath the quiet whispers of the stars. Keep looking, and you might just find the light you've been searching for.